My microphone is on. Okay, let's get this party started. Planning Commission meeting of December 2nd, 2020 will come to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Secretary will call roll, please.
Commissioner Tolson?
Here.
Commissioner Hodge?
Here.
Commissioner Rice?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Castleberry?
Here.
Chairperson Mann.
Here.
The Zoom operator who will read emails, if any, received after 5 p.m. for this meeting is Office Specialist 1, Whitney Luxemburger.
May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Castleberry. We have a second by, I've got it. Planning Commissioner Tolson. Unless there are any objections, the agenda stands approved. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes of November 18th.
May I have a second?
I second.
Vice Chair Castleberry, second. We have a motion by Commissioner Rice, and we have a second by Vice Chair Castleberry. Unless there's any objections, the minutes are approved. I'm okay here. Declaration of conflict. The Secretary will read the declaration of conflict, please.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Are there any declarations of conflict? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to public statements. This is the time allotted for public statements or comments for all items other than public hearing items. Did we receive, since obviously we're due to the closure of the City Council chamber to the public in compliance with the executive order, we're going to read emails. Did we receive any emails before 5 o'clock for public statements for items not on the agenda?
I believe we have not.
Did we receive any emails for public statements after 5 o'clock?
Ms. Luxemburger, did we receive any items?
Yes, we received one.
You have 30 minutes. Would you like to read it?
Sure. This email was received from a citizen that prefers to remain anonymous, and it reads, "Hello. Nearly a year ago, the Commission reviewed the policies and regulations for motor home storage and parking in single-family residentially zoned neighborhoods. Specifically, the Commission discussed the possibility of allowing rear yard parking. Please be reminded that all motor home regulations have been fully suspended for the last 4 to 5 years. Along the way, there have been multiple conversations regarding RV storage by the City Council. The Planning Commission also discussed the problems associated with motor homes that are inconsistent with the current front yard setback requirements. According to the current regulations, a homeowner may not place an object that is over 6 feet high within the first 20 feet from the street sidewalk. Nearly 1 year ago, the Commission set up a subcommittee to review the potentially risky guidance that seems to ignore motorhomes. It seems illogical to permit a 14-foot high motorhome out to the sidewalk, but forbid an 8-foot hedge. Apparently, the Commission and subcommittee declined to address this in their recommendation to be presented to the City Council at a future meeting. The Commission is recommending reinstatement of the existing old regulations and is not recommending any revisions or clarifications that would serve to address the setback problem. I have emailed a commissioner and asked for a brief explanation. I didn't receive a reply and wrote a follow-up email to the commissioner. Again, I received no response. I know the Commission is not mandated to answer questions via email. but I feel that a few lines explaining their suggestion/recommendation would have been a reasonable expectation. I don't understand why a motorhome is permitted to extend to the sidewalk and obstruct visibility, but a plant, hedge, fence, etc. is forbidden. In any case, the fact that the issue is not being addressed in its upcoming presentation to City Council is most problematic in nature. And that's the end of the email.
Okay, I know that at some point we had that before us, and then what happened to it?
Yes, a recommendation was made by the Planning Commission regarding rear yard parking, and that recommendation is being forwarded to the City Council, and we anticipate that to be heard by the City Council in January.
Okay. Then we'll wait to see what the City Council does with that in January. Hearing nothing else for public statements, moving on to correspondence. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director, City Planner?
Yes, Chairperson Mann, we have two supplemental items. One is for 9.A regarding the consent calendar for proposed meeting dates, and the other one is for agenda item 10A1 regarding the conditional use permit for the hotel modification, which is also proposed for continuance. We received the same email for both items, which are attached for your review.
Thank you. Consent calendar. So according to my agenda, we're supposed to have a motion for approval. Okay. May I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Do I have a second? Hearing no second, that motion dies. Do I have any discussion on the consent calendar? Does anybody want to pull any items from the consent calendar?
Do we have audio?
Yeah, do we still have Commissioner Hodge and Tolson with us?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So we have both commissioners with us. Did I miss a second, or does somebody want to pull an item from the consent calendar to be discussed?
I said second.
I'm sorry?
Well, allow me to inquire of staff. Have we ever had, I saw the email from Ms. Jordan. Teresa Jordan is a person whom I respect, and I like to pay attention to the things that she says. Have we ever had any concerns regarding having any kind of a noticed meeting on Inauguration Day in the past?
Commissioner Hodge, I'm not personally aware of that matter before this planning commission, so the answer would be no.
Okay, so we would normally start at 6:30, which would be 9:30
East Coast.
on the East Coast on Inauguration Day. So there would be there would be no speeches, there'd be no formal things going on other than parties. So from that perspective, I don't see that Inauguration Day would be something that we should be terribly concerned about in terms of our meeting here on the West Coast at 6:30. So yeah, I would encourage Commissioner Rice to remake his motion.
Okay. Do I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we're going to give the second to Commissioner Tolson. So we have a motion from Commissioner Rice, a second from Commissioner Tolson. Unless there's any objections, the consent calendar stands approved. Okay, continued business. So under continued business, is this a request for a continuance, or is this the staff's already granted the continuance? So there's nothing for us to do on this, correct?
Yeah, staff is recommending the continuance. The project revisions are still being worked on, so they just cannot be completed in time for tonight's hearing. The applicant does hope to get back to the Planning Commission early next year.
So do we need to vote on this, or is it a consent item, or is just no vote required?
I think you could
Consent it?
vote by motion to approve the continuance.
Okay.
It's a mutual request.
Okay, then we'll go ahead and do this by consent. Do I have a motion to approve the continuance by consent to January 20th?
I move to continue the project till January 20th of 2021.
We have a motion by Vice Chair Castleberry, and do I have a second?
Second by Commissioner Tolson.
We have a second by Commissioner Tolson. Hearing no objections, this will now stand as an approved by consent.
Well, approved by consent to continue the hearing to
Sorry,
January 20.
correct. Yes. The applicant's request for the continuance till January 20th has been approved by
Of the
consent.
hearing. Yes.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. Other, we got nothing there. New business. Let me switch scripts here. This is the time and place set for public hearing on the consideration of CUPS 819, a request to construct a 2,697 square foot commercial building and operate a vehicle services business, and the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. Are there any ex parte communications to report by any commissioners? Hearing and seeing none, may we have an oral report on this matter by staff, please?
Yes, good evening, Chairman Mann, members of the Planning Commission. Our project today is a small commercial building. The applicant is very excited to have this request move forward. Our associate planner, Naren Gunasekera, is going to present the project. Naren?
Good evening. I just want to confirm if anybody on Zoom cannot see my screen, which has the PowerPoint presentation up, please let me know now.
Looks great.
Thank you. The applicant, Martinez Tinting and Auto Detail, requests approval of a conditional use permit to construct a 2,697 square foot commercial building and operate a vehicle services business on a vacant 0.14 acre lot, along with the determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. The project site is shown here at 838 East Los Angeles Avenue. The site fronts LA Avenue on its north side, which will be the main access to the site. And it has a 24-foot wide alley on its south side. There are auto repair uses on the east and west side of the lot, commercial buildings to the north across LA Avenue, and residential areas to the south across the alley. The site is currently vacant, as can be seen in this photo looking south from LA Avenue. The project layout is shown here. The proposed building is 2,697 square feet. There will be 3 parking spaces in front of the building facing East Los Angeles, including 1 ADA space. There will be 2 landscape islands in the front portion of the site, a planter strip along the east side of the property, and grass pavers on the rear driveway. There will be 4 service bays in a 1,992 square foot space, which will also be utilized for storage. The building will also have a 705 square foot office and waiting room area. The applicant will provide more detail on the operation of the site. The single-story building will be 23 feet in height, constructed with concrete masonry unit block construction. Windows will be incorporated in the front roll-up doors to be consistent with the storefront design. Cream-colored metal awnings will be installed at the front to identify the office entry and provide architectural detail to the front of the building. Portions of the building will be unpainted sandstone split Angelus block with JLG cream highlights. The precision block portions proposed to be painted pale moss, highlighted in green, will be revised per condition A-16 to a more cream color, as approved by the Deputy Environmental Services Director, City Planner, and will have a brick-like appearance with smooth grout lines. This is the proposed east elevation where the building will be exposed on the south end. And this is the proposed west elevation. As shown in the table and detailed on page 5 to 6 of the staff report, the proposed project meets the setbacks, height requirements, and off-street parking requirements of the development code. The project meets all the requirements of an infill development and qualifies for a CEQA exemption as detailed in the staff report. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve conditional use permit number CUP-S-819. Thank you, and staff is available for questions.
Should call out your applicant. Microphone.
Mr. Martinez, Patrick, please unmute.
Good evening. This is Patrick.
We can hear you.
Were there any questions? I'm the architect for the project. There are any questions that the committee has? I'm happy to answer questions having to do with the proposed building.
Yes, this is Tim Hodge. I have no questions.
Yes, sir.
I have no questions.
Ah.
Patrick, is Mr. Martinez able to connect to audio? Are you able to?
Yes, he needs to. There he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Martinez.
Good evening.
I can't hear Chairman Mann if he's saying anything.
Oh. Yes, you're saying?
Okay, do we have a presentation from the applicant, or just questions? Okay.
Mr. Martinez, as we mentioned, if you're able to give us a quick overview of the business, that'd be great.
The business is going to be the window tinting and auto detailing. I've been doing this work for quite a while, and I wanted to work like Monday through Friday, Saturdays half a day, and that's the proposal.
Well, you asked for quick, you got quick. That's good. We like that. Okay, so that's the presentation. I'm sorry, Commissioner Hodge, do you have any questions of the applicant or the architect?
Well, real quickly, Mr. Martinez, I take it, how many employees will you expect to have on site at any given time? I'm going to guess 2.
It probably is going to be just 2 and me, so it's going to be 3 people.
3, so you would expect to use the 3 parking lot parking spaces for employees?
No.
Where would you expect the employees in you to park?
most of it's my son and I. We probably gonna ride together, and the other person, like everybody else, is a tight spot in there. So like people, like they're parking at the street.
Can you repeat that last sentence, please?
I was saying, the people. I mean, the spot is really tight in there, and I've been seeing like most of the employees and everyone around there. They just, like try to find the spot on the street, because it's a little tight spot in there. But most of all, I want to use my spots for customers and whoever is going to pick or drop some people there.
When you say the street, you're not talking Los Angeles Street.
No, like in the back.
Okay, I'll refer my other questions to staff.
Are there any other questions of the applicant? Does the applicant have any rebuttals to any of the questions that were asked before them?
No.
Okay. Do we receive any requests from members of the public to make a public statement on Zoom for this item? And if so, none? Do we receive any emails on this item after 5 o'clock today?
I'll check with Ms. Luxemberger.
No, we did not.
Thank you, Ms. Luxemberger. Are there any comments from staff regarding statements made during the public hearing? This is a quick one. Would the applicant like to respond to any comments or questions other than your answers already given, Mr. Martinez?
No.
Okay, if there's no further questions, I'm going to close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commissioner, from the Planning Commission?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Commissioner Hodge.
If staff could comment on, apparently we're giving credit for 4 parking spaces to the interior of the building, which are actually the work areas where the work is being done. If I could get an explanation as to how that qualifies under the code for parking spaces, or if I'm misunderstanding the requirement, if I could be advised.
Good evening, Chairman Hodge. This is Mr. Gibson here.
Oh, God, I've been overthrown.
Sorry, Commissioner Hodge.
He said Chairman Hodge.
Wishful thinking.
There's a coup.
The service bays have been used as parking in the past on various situations. This is a tight situation. It's an infill property, and to best utilize the site and the proposed use, we're making the determination that the service stalls are essentially parking spaces which would be used by customers as well. So a lot of those spaces, they would roll into the service bays and count as parking. We've done that over the years for some multiple vehicle type uses in certain situations.
Okay, when I appreciate that very much. When staff met with the applicant, was a discussion held about, for example, how long, just in terms of the operations of the business, do people typically come in, sit in the waiting room for 45 minutes and then leave with their vehicle, or they typically leave them there for a number of hours and then come back? I'm just curious what the turnover time is for vehicles that would be parked on the property.
No, usually they left the vehicle for a couple hours, or some people, half a day, and drop off early morning, pick up on a half a day. And most of all the vehicles, if it's 3 people, we only gonna be able to work like in 2 cars at a time. So we're gonna have parking inside the units and the outside of the parking spot. It's gonna be for customers only.
Mr. Martinez, thank you for the answer, but actually the staff at this point will be answering all questions. We've already closed the public portion of the testimony, so you get to sit there and listen. Staff gets to answer the question. If staff can't answer, then we'll reopen the public hearing for you to come back on.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Mann. And for the record, I would have asked the applicant to provide that so we could add that to the public hearing record for the response. I hadn't personally contacted him. This project's been going on for a while. And in addition, my response to that is, often these facilities are kind of like an appointment basis. It's not a lot of customers mingling around in the area. So in reality, it's probably much adequately parked for what is going at in staff's general opinion. So that's one thing to consider.
Okay.
So I have a question of staff. Is there any parking in the alley behind the building? So the rear door is basically open up to the alley, I mean, plus or minus a few feet, because I see there's a trash enclosure back there. But the rear of the building is, how far off the alleyway is the rear of the building?
It is about 10 feet,
Okay,
so there's really no parking.
so there's no parking there. But there is, I mean, public parking, I believe, on 3rd Street and 4th Street that are on both sides of the building, east and west of this?
Yes, when I visited the site, I parked on 4th Street.
Okay. Any other commissioners have any other questions of the applicant? Of staff?
I have one quick question. Can you show the screen that shows the aerial view that shows 3rd Street and 4th Street as it relates to the property? Perfect. So there's two sets of places, 3rd Street and 4th Street, which is walking distance to the property. Am I right?
That is correct.
Okay. That was it for me. Thank you.
Okay, we've kind of gone over questions. Do we have any comments of the Planning Commission moving forward? If not, we can just put this right to a resolution.
That's fine. It's, this is, to me, this is a nice little infill project, and I think that, normally I would have concerns about the parking in a situation like this, but the street parking seems adequate for the business that's going there. Seems like it's the right thing for this tiny little lot, and I think the design shows, to me, it looks like the city had a hand in helping to craft this, but either way, whether it's the architect or the city, I think it's a nice design for this small project.
I would concur with Commissioner Rice. I think it's compatible with surrounding land uses. I think it's a great fit for the infill site. It is quite hard to make a project work on a site that small. Street parking will be adequate. I've walked that area before. There's plenty of street spaces. Yeah, I support this project.
Commissioner Hodge or Tolson, any comments?
No.
Okay, hearing none. Yeah, I mean, I'm well versed with the same area. I figured that the only place that would ever use this little piece of land was the business to the east of it. So I'm really glad to see a small businessman has decided that they're going to open up something over here. I think it's a great project. Lord knows in my days I've had my windows tinted and I've had the auto detail. Typically I drop the car off, have somebody pick me up. Nowadays I can Uber and drop off the car, pick it up hours later when it's all done. So not a whole lot of reservations about parking. I think based on what that small little lot is, kudos to this man to Mr. Martinez for coming up with this plan of putting this business into play. So, hearing no other comments?
Commissioner Mann, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Chairman Mann. Yeah, I somehow got dropped off for a second, but I came back in time to hear Commissioner Rice and Folson and yourself. I am going to support the project, and I want to congratulate Mr. Martinez. I hope he's very successful. At the same time, I just want to sort of go on the record that I'm not terribly sanguine about approving a project where the expectation is that the parking is not going to satisfy the demands of the project. I think that it probably will, and I hope that it does. What I'm hearing more than I'd like to hear is that there's necessarily going to be like employees, for example, who would be looking for street parking. I don't think that that's normally how we look at projects. This is a particularly difficult circumstance. It's a difficult spot. I think that this is going to be a successful business. I'm welcome him to the city if he doesn't already work in the city. I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. But I'm very happy that to see somebody moving forward with this particularly difficult spot, and I wish him the best of luck.
Thank you. May I please have a reading of the resolution?
Resolution number SVPC 14-2020, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley approving conditional use permit CUPS 819 to construct a 2,697 square foot commercial building and operate a vehicle services business on a vacant .14 acre lot located at 838 East Los Angeles Avenue, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
The chair will now entertain a motion.
I move to adopt a resolution approving CUP-S-819 and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Vice Chair Castleberry and a second by Commissioner Hodge. We'll have to call for the oral vote.
Commissioner Tolson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodge?
Yes.
Commissioner Rice?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Castleberry?
Yes.
Chairperson Mann?
Yes. The motion passes. The appeal period for CUPS 819 is 14 calendar days. Mr. Martinez, if you're still with us, congratulations, sir. I personally look forward to coming to your business, and I'm sure other commissioners will as well.
Well, thank you
Go blue.
for it. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. 12, oral communications and reports.
Yes, Chairman Mann and members of the Planning Commission. I'm just a little sad to say that our Vice Chairperson Castleberry will have his last meeting tonight. He's been here with about 2 years. On behalf of our staff in the Planning Department, we really enjoyed working with you, John, coming to visit us in the meeting when pre-COVID days. We enjoyed getting your insight, and we really appreciate your time served. I know you'll be moving on to bigger and better places.
Thank you.
I'd like to follow up on that.
Sure.
From the official setting, I'd like to suggest to Commissioner Castleberry that in 2 years you put a good footprint on the commission. You added tremendous value from the very beginning. I enjoyed working with you on the subcommittee, on Alamo, and I respected the things that you had to say. I greatly respected the manner in which you proceeded and worked in a very collaborative and effective manner to provide better projects for the city. And I want to thank you very much for your 2 years of service. From a personal matter, I want to say to John that I wish you the best of luck. You're a good dude, and I really hope that you fare well. And yes, I would like to know how you're doing from time to time. And if you ever do get a chance to stick your head in, say hi, and my best of luck to you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Hodge.
Commissioner Rice?
I would just say pretty close to what Commissioner Hodge said. I appreciate working on a subcommittee with Commissioner Castleberry and also going to convention with Commissioner Castleberry. And I agree with what Commissioner Hodge said about Commissioner Castleberry adding value and also finding a passion for the city and wanting the city to be the best city it can be. And it's definitely a loss for Simi Valley. So
thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Can I say something real quick?
Commissioner Tolson.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that it's been a pleasure to work with Vice Chair Castleberry in this last year plus, and give the best of luck to him. Also, just recognize that his mother, Brenda Castleberry, works at Hillside Middle School and has been recognized as a 2021 Lou Roth Award winner. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Very nice. Okay, Vice Chair Castleberry has been an asset to this planning commission from day one. You've always been fair, just, always wanted to listen to both sides of the argument. I think that you certainly vote and speak with your heart, but you certainly have the forethought of listening to both sides before talking, and that's kind of a rarity in today's society. People seem to be polarized one way or the other. You seem to be right down the middle with your thoughts and actions and your logic and your heart. Personally, I go back with John to days of Boy Scouts when my son, who is now 23, was looking to go to Boy Scout troops. We went to Troop 622, which happened to be my Boy Scout troop when I was in Scouts. And John was one of the leaders, one of the Scout leaders there. And John was a great asset to the troop. My son learned a lot from him, so I really, really appreciate you as a father, and someday you will have children as well, and you'll get to know this, that those that reach out a helping hand to help your children will always have a high esteem. So John, I cannot tell you as a friend how much I appreciate what you've done for my son and what you've done for this community. You will be missed.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. And I have to say that working with the commission has been an absolute pleasure for the last 2 years. I really respect each and every one of you. I think that our commission sets an example to the entire city of how to work together in a collaborative manner to come up with better solutions for our city. I have no doubt in my mind that each one of us has what's best in our heart for Simi Valley, and we really show that up here. I'm very sad to leave my hometown. I am relocating, so I will no longer be living in Simi Valley, and that's why I'm stepping down. But I really have enjoyed this opportunity. And beyond that, staff has been phenomenal. I have enjoyed working with staff, and I have to give my hats off to you guys. You guys are the most professional staff I've seen. You guys are so knowledgeable, and you guys are quite underappreciated. So thank you so much for all that you do for this city, often behind the scenes and people don't see it. So I'm going to miss being up here, but thank you all for the kind words. And thank you, Commissioner Tolson, for recognizing my mother. We're very proud of her and all the work she does for our community. So thank you for that. And I will definitely be coming back to visit and popping in, and hopefully after COVID's over, coming by to see staff and showing my appreciation. So thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, back on to the matters at hand here. Mobile Home Rent Mediation Board,
No items?
Tree Advisory Board.
No items tonight?
Then, this concludes the meeting of December 2nd. The next scheduled meeting will be on January 20th, 2021. May 2021 be far bright better than 2020. This meeting is officially adjourned. John, again, thank you for your many, many years of service. We're going to adjourn the meeting on your behalf. Thank you.